go to combat. I can't believe we're going to get someone with this. Put a bunch of counters on it. We may get multiple players with it, actually. Use the Ozolith's ability. Send this into fish, because we can't deal with the Drakuseth.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Zabaz Modular list and find out how many players can we kill with an Inkmoth Nexus. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Zabaz the Glimmerwasp today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Pauper R. Bust. We've seen this deck list in the past. It showed up in the High Power Adriana game that I posted a few weeks back, so you can definitely check that one out if you like. But today we'll be piloting the deck, and I did make just a couple tweaks to the deck list, which we'll talk about in a minute. But let's take a look at this opener. Looks like 3 lands plus some ramp. Seems good. We'll be facing off against a Jegantha, a Beckett Brass, and a Drakuseth. Drakuseth, probably not my favorite for what we're trying to do right here. Drakuseth, it's kind of nasty. Although, I did make a few attempts at Drakuseth in the past, and as a commander, it's really slow. Like, it's such a big and telegraphed play that, like, people just hold up a Swords or a Path, and then you don't get anything done with it. It's not a great time, but didn't have so much luck with that one. But it's great in the 99 of decks because it shows up as a surprise, and that's kind of the difference maker. Big difference between like Elesh Norn in the command zone and Elesh Norn in the 99, because that surprise factor, it matters. It matters a lot. Anyway, brings it to our turn 1. There's a command tower. Let's play the command tower. What do we play first? Do we play the modular guy, or do we just cast our commander? Or do we go for a mana vault? Mana vault? We could tap the mana vault and cast 3 1-drops. That seems kind of exciting. Why not? Why not? Smoke them if you got them. So tap the mana vault, cast Zabaz, cast Arcbound Worker, and cast the Ozolith. And we'll pass like that. And suddenly we need to refill our hand. Our hand is looking kind of empty. D-Manny said his deck was picked for a themed game. It was pick a set. Guess which set he picked. Being that it's Jegantha, I'm going to guess Ikoria, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a gamble for opponent. Potentially going for some mana ramp right here. They do have a Valakut in play. That's also not great as the game gets going. And that'll bring it back to our turn. We'll lose 1 off the Mana Vault. We can sacrifice a Mana Vault right here, but I kind of want to get this Slow Bad into play. We'll take 1 damage. It's fine, but we'll probably get rid of it sooner or later. There's the damage. Play the Mountain. Play Slow Bad. And now I feel pretty good about things. We've got some protection to our name. Let's go to combat. We can do some light pokes. Zabaz over to Fish. Maybe start putting some commander damage over there, and then Arcbound Worker over to the Jegantha. So we'll pass like that. We'll take a look at what our commander does. Zabaz the Glimmerwasp, 1 mana for a 1/1, has modular 1. If a modular ability would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead, which means I'm pretty sure I totally played these in the wrong order. Pretty sure that's a thing that just happened. No one saw that. And you may pay a red. Destroy target artifact you control, and you may pay a white. It gains flying until end of turn. Kind of an interesting little commander. I had made an attempt at a modular deck in the past with Aurelia Exemplar, just because it puts +1/+1 counters on things via Mentor. But there wasn't enough depth or enough payoff to that deck to really make it work. But I think Zabaz, in addition to the new modular cards that were printed, give you enough to make this deck very reasonable. Warren Power Stone for opponent, that's going to speed them up a bit. They discarded a Leyline Tyrant, by the way. Pretty good one to get rid of. Opponent did give themselves a Regal Leosaur. When this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. It's fine. Are we getting rid of the mana vaults? I mean, at some point, we're just going to be able to untap it, because we don't have, like, a lot going on here. So, I guess we'll just take... There's an Arcane Signet. That's good, actually. So, play the Inkmoth Nexus. Next turn, we can untap the mana vault. I think I like the sound of that. And we'll just keep poking away. Commander into Fish. This one into Sean. Should maybe hold that one back. This one into Sean. More light pokes. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Pass the turn. Let's take a peek at the deck list real quick. So here's the deck list. Pretty low mana curve. A lot of things at 2 and tapers off very nicely. Not a lot at the upper parts of the curve. To a point where that may actually be a little bit concerning. You may want like a couple more bigger things at the top here, like maybe a Sun Titan or something to get something back. I don't know. We'll see how it plays. But also a lot of artifacts, definitely an artifact theme going on. There's a bunch of really cool artifact cards that you can take advantage of. Duretti wasn't in the deck initially. I just felt like I didn't want to run without a Duretti, so I cut the Truth and Justice that was in here, which also seems like a great pick to get Duretti in. And then I added Dowsing Dagger for some additional mana. Because you can give Zabaz flying. I really like what that means. I cut one of the kind of do-nothing modular creatures, but it was one of the 2-mana ones that had no additional abilities, so seemed like we could roll without it. I feel like I wanted those extra things in here. Opponent's going to mutate. Oh, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I don't like that one bit. They're going to try to destroy our Ozolith, so we will use the Slowbad to give it indestructible. Sacrifice an artifact. Gonna be the Mana Vault, I guess. Or maybe do we get rid of the Arcbound Worker? Because that'll put a counter on here, and then we can put a counter on there, and then it gets bigger. Seems reasonable. Yeah, we'll sacrifice the Arcbound Worker, I guess. So Modular and Ozolith will trigger. Choose an artifact we control, put a counter on Zabaz. The Ozolith gets a counter on it. Use the ability. Zabaz now a 3/3. Slowbad protects the Ozolith. I almost thought about cutting this, and I'm like, you know what? I've seen some wacky stuff with this card in the past, so I kept it in, and I'm glad I did, because, one, it's not a card that I play a lot, so, like, just seeing something different is nice, but two, it just saved our thing, and that's cool. Opponent is going to poke us, though. They got a 4/4 coming our way. We'll feel that a little bit. We could try to pump the Inkmoth Nexus. We really need some card advantage, though. A wheel would make me so unbelievably happy. Got a mono red deck over there. Beckett Brass may have like a Windfall or something. Not really sure. This is, I believe this is going to be an all Ikoria set right here, so probably no wheels in there. There's a Soul Ring. Now we're starting to talk about Drakuseth mana for next turn. Watch out for that. That's a Sunbird's Invocation. Well, that makes an easy choice for the next mutate thing, so yeah. Brings it back to our turn. Path of Ancestry is not what we want. Play the Path of Ancestry. I mean, do we destroy it and recast it? Does that work? I don't think that works, does it? Because if it's not in play, if the modular ability triggered will put one or more counters on it, then that puts that many +1. But if it's not in play, that won't actually happen. So we would put 3 counters on there. I mean, I think it does something. Let's find out. So this would be a 4/4 go into combat. We're going to try this for science. Yeah, we can sacrifice it for free, which is cool too. Sacrifice Zabaz. Maybe we should do this after combat. Yeah, we'll get the damage in first. That makes sense. Ozolith trigger on the Zabaz. Use the ability. It's a 4/4. Swing into fish. Up to 6 commander. And we'll do this thing that we were talking about doing. So give the Ozolith indestructible. Sacrifice Zabaz. Return it to the command zone. Modular happens. The Ozolith happens. Oh, there's no artifact creature for the modular. Doesn't seem the best. Recast Zabaz. The Path of Ancestry tapped. I would love to scry. And it comes back as a 1/1, so yeah, you get +1 for doing that, essentially. Maybe not the most efficient thing ever, but we have literal nothing else going on, so why not? But, you know, now we're starting to talk about having 4 counters on an Inkmoth Nexus, and that's actually a thing. Yep, here comes another mutate. Please hit the Sunbirds. They'll get a land off of this one. Also, their mana. Cutting their mana would be a good idea. They're going to target the Ozolith, so we protect the Ozolith, sacrifice the Mana Vault. I'm slightly annoyed that they didn't go after the Sunbirds. 1, because we did this last turn, and we just do the same thing again. 2, it's a Sunbirds. Like, if you untap with it, you probably win the game. It's so ridiculously strong. Turning 1 spell into 2 is really good. Sean's got a Grixis Charm. I'm going to return these Sunbirds to the hand. That's a great idea. Midnight Clock. Midnight Clock counter. Does this thing need 12? 12th hour counter. Coalition Relic. And Sunbirds is back. Midnight Clock. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Krark Clan Ironworks. I think I'm going to hold that just because that card makes people nervous. Although, you could probably get some like additional Zabaz sacrifices out of it. So I guess the first thing is we'll play a Strip Mine. Just so we have that. We'll probably need to Strip Mine a Valakut at some point, actually. Let's go to combat. Been thinking about it. I'm just going to move all the counters to the Zabaz right here because we got fish to 6 commander. This will put them to probably 10 or 11. And we want to get some sort of clock going over there. They have some big heavy hitters coming down. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to... do we sacrifice Zabaz and recast it? Probably. Funny story. Zabaz now out of Drakuseth range. I guess we just cast the Cart Clan Ironworks then. No, because we still want him to shoot the Sunbirds, and I don't want to give him a reason to not do that. So the other question is, do we want to run up our Zabaz that much? I don't think I do, so I think we're just going to pass. Which, we're kind of doing nothing, but I guess we'd get the Scry off the Path of Ancestry if we recast right there, but... Fish said, literally the birds and the bees. Sunbirds and Zabaz. Trumpeting Gnar coming in. Opponent's going to get all the mutates. Finally going after the Sunbirds. The Ozolith for opponent. Seems good. Opponent went no attacks, though. We could really use some card draw. We have a War Room in the deck. No Bonder's Enclave. Potentially could use a Makokoro. We have a Valakut Awakening. That's not the best right here, but there's a Wheel of Fortune. No Wheel of Misfortune. Might need one of those. A Memory Jar would not be terrible because of the artifact synergies. Even a Hedron Archive also wouldn't be that bad, since you can like draw with it and get it back if you need more. All that to say, I really hope opponents play a wheel. Is a Captain Lannery Storm. Yep. Sean's going to poke our way. Going to make a treasure. That's one thing I was thinking about too. You might want to consider some amount of cards that make treasures for this deck. Doesn't necessarily need to be Lannery Storm, but just anything that's going to give you treasures to sacrifice could be kind of helpful, I think. It's a 3-2. They sacrifice it. Here comes a Flame Tongue Kavu. That's a really tempting target. Yeah, they're going to go after that. Thank God. After opponent tried to blow up most of our stuff. They lose a whole bunch of things. Opponent's going to Ghost Quarter our Inkmoth Nexus. I don't love that. So what I'm going to do is turn it into a 1/1. Then use Slowbad to target it, sacrificing Zabaz. Modular and the Ozolith will trigger. Use the ability. Oh my god, it's a 6/6. Well, we can infect someone out of the game. That's fun. Blink Moth Nexus. Use the Ghost Quarter ability, get ourselves a free land. Love it. Let's get a Plains, I guess. Blood Moon is not great. Non-basic lands are mountains. Good thing we got a Plains. It's still a creature until end of turn. Does it stay a creature? How does that work? It's not a separate trigger, so it probably won't. No longer a creature. Dismantling Wave. That's how you get rid of a Blood Moon. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the plan, right? Play a Plains. Play a Dismantling Wave. Blood Moon, Compass, the Ozolith. Those go down. Activate a Blink Moth. Go to combat. I can't believe we're going to get someone with this. Put a bunch of counters on it. We may get multiple players with it, actually. Use the Ozolith's ability. Send this into fish because we can't deal with the Drakuseth. This is exactly the problem I had with Drakuseth also, is that people are just like, oh, it's Drakuseth. I can't deal with that, so focus them. Down goes fish to infect. In the history of this channel, I have not killed very many people with infect. It is a very small number. I would guess less than 10. Our commander is going to cost 5 to cast right here. We don't have the mana for that, so we will pass the turn. Draw and discard, mutate, sure. Folio of Fancies. I would love to draw some cards. Players have no max hand size. Each player draws X cards. Each player mills. Well, it looks like they're not going to activate it right now. 2/2 coming our way, yep. Another treasure. We'll take... Maybe Truth and Justice does want to be in this deck, especially with like the Ozolith and the modular abilities, things like that. Need to find a spot for it. I do think that this deck is maybe like a little bit too mana efficient for its own good. Like, we have a bunch of mana right now, nothing to do with it. And our curve more or less stops at 5, so like, you want to have a couple big things to go to. Sun Titan would be nice, get some stuff back. Sacks a treasure. Dargo is a card. I don't think they're doing the combo thing today. There's a Mox Opal. Play the Mox Opal. We now have Metalcraft. Animate the Blink Moth Nexus. Go to combat. Yep, send that into D-Manny. We'll see if he has anything. Bounce would be bad. Bounce is the one we don't want to see. Destroy, we can handle with the Slowbad. Slowbad, kind of ridiculous. I remember a long time ago, I faced the Slowbad deck on Magic Online, and it was insane. Like, you just can't kill anything. That's Exile. Exile is bad. If you don't control a human, do they control a human? You lose life equal to the creature's toughness. That's a bit. That is a bit. Please say leaves the battlefield. It does say leaves the battlefield. That's good news. So all those counters will go onto the Ozolith. Make sure we use the Path of Ancestry right here, because we need to filter our draws. Congratulating opponents on their survival right there. Wrath of God. That might be handy if the pirates get going, so we'll keep that on top. Yeah, pass the turn. Because if Beckett Brass comes down, it's a problem. And I think she'll be on the scene really soon. Oh, the red guy had reach, so I guess it wasn't going to kill them. But, it would have chewed through the red guy really quickly. Jegantha coming into play. Sure, they'll have some extra mana next turn. Card that I'm thinking about right now is Showdown of the Scalds is going to be really good. 1, because we need card advantage. 2, because it puts +1/+1 counters on things, and both of those are really good. This deck probably also wants a Mask of Memory. Like, we just need to draw cards. Does it have one? It does have one. We haven't found it. It's just so hard to get away from those cards, especially when your commander has flying or some sort of evasion. Like, they're just too good at what they do, especially when you're not in green. Like, green has other options and, more powerful, more consistent things, but when you're not in green, just can't run without those cards. So ridiculously good. Sword of the Animus, Dousing Dagger, Mask of Memory. Opponent's going to attack us really hard. It's not the best. Yeah, we'll take. There's an Akroma's Will in the deck. Pauper got us with it in the game we played against him. That can gain us a bunch of life back if it shows up. There's also a Shadow Spear, which can gain us some life back too. That's a Toxic Deluge X5. Not ideal. Slowbad's going to go down, and Slowbad's been doing work for us, so that's disappointing. Modular and the Ozolith. Ozolith, pretty cool. I haven't really played with it a bunch, but kind of ridiculous in this deck. Come on, draw some cards. We need cards. Nope, it's a Breaches. Gonna make that Wrath of God we kept on top a little bit less good. Actually, significantly less good. Midnight Clock's getting up there. Oh, that's number 12. That is number 12. It's gonna happen. Opponent gets a fresh 7. I'm jealous. They might win now. Recast our commander. Any haste on this thing? Nah, no haste. Could definitely use some haste. Scry? It's disappointing that they would ever make a Boros commander that doesn't inherently have flying, vigilance, and haste. Arcbound Tracker is a modular card. Menace Modular 2 seems good enough, I guess. The Ozolith. Use the ability. It's a 12/12. It's pretty big. Oh, I think Forging the Tyrite Sword might be good for this deck, too. It's a little slow, but it does make treasures on the way in, and, that's a thing that you can take advantage of. Parcel Beast. Well, now they're definitely not going to draw for us, unless that 7 was, like, all lands. Oh, we need to draw cards. No card draw. The Sunbird. Oh, he's got a Sunbirds of his own. That's kind of gross. I mean, now that kind of puts us on, we just have to try to commander damage him to death. Bloodthirsty Blade. Uh-oh, that's going to get harder. Also, Bloodthirsty Blade, I think, is still bugged, so that, like, if we kill D-Manny, we won't be able to attack Sean. They get a Sunbirds trigger first. It does look like they're out of mana. Doesn't find anything. I've been trying to use this card more. It's interesting. Like, it's really good against me, because I always play decks like this. But it's less good against people that aren't as hell-bent on attacking, so... But it's definitely an interesting one. I've been trying to, like, work it into some things here and there, test it out, and... Again, when I'm at the table, that'll just, like, I'll just kill all of the opponents for you. And probably to my dismay, because usually I want to attack the person who's got it, but, what can you do? We're going to play the Arcbound Tracker. We're going to give Zabaz flying until end of turn. And then we're going to go to combat. Hit Sean while we still can. Next turn, we certainly won't be able to. Depending on what he does creature-wise, this does have Menace. So, if he puts the thing on here, we could, like, sacrifice this and then put all the counters on the Arcbound Tracker. And if he only has one blocker, we might be able to get there. Takes a giant hit, 12 commander, 22 life. Necropanther. Oh, they can return one. I'm sure I'm not going to like that. How much is the shoot an artifact one? That one's 4, so they can't get that one. But, there's still things in there. General value. Yep, going to get the Trumpeting Gnar back. Yep, opponent's going to put the Bloodthirsty Blade on the Zabaz, as you do. Thran Dynamo into the Sunbirds. That's a good play right there. Into a Dockside. Not good. Not good. That's going to be so much mana. It's like 6 artifacts on our side. With the Sunbirds, too. That means whatever they cast, they get 2 of. Oy. Yep, this is probably where we lose control of the game, unless we can get rid of that Bloodthirsty Blade. Also, he has a second blocker now, which is not ideal. Vance's Blasting Cannons into the Sunbirds. Misses with the Sunbirds. Kukemsa Pirates. When it attacks and isn't blocked, you may gain control of target artifact defending player controls. Not the best. Into the Sunbirds. There's an Ignite the Future in the deck. That would be a big pickup for us. Wheel of Fortune would also be a big pickup. Really just need to look at cards. Yep, the pirate army is starting to assemble. Direfleet Warmonger into play, and they may sacrifice another creature. If they do, it gains trample until end of turn. Doesn't have haste, so shouldn't be a thing. This turn, anyway. Oh, maybe we need to think about the Wrath of God. It's a lot of pirates. Here comes the Breaches. Hopefully they, like, get rid of a land or something. It's got Menace. We can't block. It's a Jeska's Will. That's annoying. That's card advantage. That's frustrating. They cast the Jeska's Will. They're going to exile the top 3. I think they're out of mana, though. Conqueror's Galleon, Crafty Cup Purse, and Daring Saboteur. Oh, we needed that. We needed that. Solemn Simulacrum is interesting. Guess we go to combat first. We're going to attack D-Manny, because we don't have another option in the matter. Yeah, maybe the Wrath of God makes the most sense right here. Wrath of God, Solemn Simulacrum, draw the card. Or, maybe we wait on the Solemn. Oh, that one. Oh, I forgot to make it flying. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. It's not the best. That will make things take longer. Yeah, I think we need to draw with the Solemn. Because eventually we'll run into like a combo piece or something, and then life will get better. Opponent's going to look at the top card of their library. If it's a land, they may put it onto the battlefield. Wow, it's like Thrasios. I guess it taps. Makes it a little less broken. Solemn Simulacrum triggers. We'll get a land. Get a mountain. Yeah, I'm going to play the Wrath of God right here. I feel like it makes sense. Arcbound Tracker will get a counter on it. A lot of pirates over there. He's sort of low on cards. I mean, he's got the Sunbirds. So anything he casts turns into 2, but... And we get a bunch of triggers. Ozolith triggers twice. Draw with the Solemn Simulacrum. It's Wellspring. Is this the draw one? No, it's the land one. Ugh, we need the draw one. Pass like that. Inspired Ultimatum. Target player gains 5 life, does 5 damage to any target, and then you draw 5 cards. Card draw. Card draw is going to win this game. Essence Symbiote. Oh no! Opponent Grixis Charm the Ozolith back to our hand. That's so bad. Ugh. That, we probably can't win now. That's a Shark Typhoon. I don't know that we can beat that. Opponent gets a Rashadan Footpad. It's not going to be ideal. We don't have 2 mana, so get rid of a land, I guess. Beckett Brass into play. Yep. Guardian of Faith. Not really what we need. How much is Zabaz? More than we have? 9. 9 is a bit. So I guess Wellspring. Get a land. Goes to hand, drop it into play. Play the Ironworks. I guess we can run the Ozolith out there. This permanent? Oh, that does say permanent. That's not great. Back for more. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Is it the shooty one? It's the shooty one. And it fights up to 1 creature you don't control. Gonna fight the Beckett Brass. Cool. And if they mutate, they can hopefully shoot something that isn't ours. And they're gonna mutate onto it. What's this one? Each opponent discards a card. Yep, I guess that's gonna happen. There are some enchantments that need to be shot, though. And yeah, they're gonna shoot the Sunbirds. Shark Typhoon's still a problem, too, though. Oh, you know what we could have did? We could have... I don't know, we probably need the land, but we could have sacrificed this to get a land and put it into our hand. These are cool. I've had a few of these laying around for a long time, and I just never found the deck for them. I guess I don't play, like, artifact graveyard decks all that much. Like, I never played Duretti, and I never played, like, Breya or anything like that. So, this, pretty cool for Zabaz. Gets you 2 cards. Heartless Act. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. Into the Shark Typhoon. They get a 2/2. We also have a problem with the Vance's blasting cannons in that I think if we just cast Zabaz, they shoot it. Opponent's going to use the Castle Lochtwain. Yeah, this stage of the game. Every card matters. Oh man, if we could find Scrap Mastery or something like that, that would be cool. I mean, I guess we wouldn't get that much back. We would get a couple creatures back, and that would certainly be nice. Deflecting Swat is interesting. Cast Zabaz, it's going to be 9. So let's sacrifice the Wellspring to the Ironworks. Get a land. If they try to Spitfire us, we can hit them with the Deflecting Swat. Get a land. Play a land. Cast our commander. Oh, we have a Strip Mine. We could shoot the cannon. Oh, I forgot to use the Path of Ancestry. I always forget to do that. Oh, we need to scry so bad. Alright. Pass turn. Always forget about the Path of Ancestry. Genesis Ultimatum. Top 5 cards of your library, any number of permanents from among them, onto the battlefield. They feeling lucky? Lands and Signets. I'm sure he was hoping for a little better than that, but I think he did get all 5. 3 damage to target creature. Gonna shoot the Beckett Brass. Yep, takes care of that. That being the case, I think I'm gonna strip mine the cannon. Cracks a fetch. Pillage on the Ozolith. You know what we can do? We can Deflecting Swat. In fact, we can Deflecting Swat onto the Bloodthirsty Blade, which seems like a really good idea. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. Shoot the Bloodthirsty Blade. Opponent does get another flyer out of the deal. Yep, them flyers going to be a problem. That is a 2-for-1 right there. And that's why Deflecting Swat is insane. Use their own removal spell against them. They're going to draw with Castle Locktwain, burning that life. Jealous about the card draw, though. Attacks over to D-Manny. Sure. Heartless Pillage. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Ouch. Raid. They get a thing. Yep. Sky Shark. Yep. Shark Typhoon is going to get us. Oh my god, that's a Scrap Mastery. Let's just double check, make sure opponents aren't getting anything crazy back. Bloodthirsty Blade, little bit of an issue. Opponent getting their own Ozolith, but I don't really know what it's for. I haven't really seen anything that... we get a bunch of things back. We will get the Wellspring, a Solemn, that's card draw, Mana Vault, and yeah, creatures. Creatures are important. Not getting punished on the Path of Ancestry, because we definitely would have left this on top. Oh, you know what we should do? We should be smart and sacrifice all this stuff for mana first, is what we should do. I'm trying to... I don't think the poking for 1 is really even worth it over there, so... Nope. Do this the smartest way. Make the mana first. Did that. Now we start using the Ironworks. Sacrifice that. No, send it to the graveyard. I will be really annoyed if a counterspell shows up right here. Sacrifice Ironworks to itself. We have a bunch of colorless mana. Scrap Mastery. We get stuff. We get things. Mycosynth and Solemn trigger. Is this supposed to come in with 3 counters on it from the Zabaz? I was wondering about that. This came in with 1. It says if a modular triggered ability is modular. Oh, the first ability isn't triggered. That's probably why. It just happens as you cast it. Solemn Simulacrum, get a land. Mycosynth, use the ability. Get a land. Sacrifice the Solemn, draw a card. Hope something cool shows up. Still looking for card advantage. Blacksmith skill is fine. It's not amazing. We could sacrifice these now and make this bigger, which would make it a blocker against some of the sharks. Guess we play the mountain. Got a land play left. We can cast Zabaz a few more times. Maybe that's worth doing. We can have 1 really big flyer. I think we're going to get dinged on the ground mostly, so we're going to KCI the Arcbound Worker, Ozolith, and Modular. Pump the Zabaz. Ozolith gets a counter on it also. Sacrifice Zabaz. Send it to the command zone. Modular onto the Arcbound. Use the ability. Ooh, that got 3 counters on it. Oh, right. Cool. Cool. Recast Zabaz. Use Path of Ancestry this time, like I always forget to do. Arcbound will get a counter on itself. Yeah, we'll get to scry 1. That's a walking ballista. That's exactly the card we need. That was 11. Can we cast this guy one more time? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have a Mana Vault. Yeah, we can cast Zabaz again. So KCI, modular onto the Arcbound. If we can get like, what do we need? 35 counters? 35 counters we can Walking Ballista everyone to death? Not out of the realm of possibility. Use the Zabaz. Up to 7. Recast Zabaz. Try to leave up just a little bit of mana for stuff that we need to do. If we can. How much do we have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We wouldn't be able to give it flying, so let's use the Mana Vault, because I also want to leave up the Blacksmith skill. Although, Mana Vault is X3, Walking Ballista is double X, so that's +1. Let's just use Mana Vault. Tracker gets bigger. Zabaz comes in. Ozolith on Zabaz. Use the ability. It's a 6/6. Reasonable. Pass like that. We have 14 counters amongst our stuff. So, I mean, well, if Sean puts some damage on D-Manny, which I'm hoping he does, then that'll also cut down the distance. 14 counters kills Sean, notably. D-Manny has been low on cards, so I think we could actually take him 1 versus 1. We have enough stuff in play right now, as long as he doesn't make a big play. Jegantha coming back. Tap the Bonder's Enclave. Unless they have something big, I may have left that untapped to try and draw a card here. They do have something. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Not ideal. Not ideal. Pretty low on blockers. Here comes the Mutate. Sacrifice the Tracker, I guess. Keep Zabaz in play. Modular onto the Zabaz. We're cutting down that distance. Use the ability. Wow, there's 8 counters on the Ozolith. That's really good. That is really, really good. We have a total of 23 counters. Could kill either player if everything holds up for us. Some attacks in the appropriate direction, and we could probably kill both. Thaumatic Compass coming back. Shark Typhoon. Yeah, Bloodthirsty Blade onto the Zabaz, because Zabaz. It's giant. Man, this deck has been fun. Especially once you can do stuff when you're, like, not running out of cards. It's a lot of fun. Don't you do anything wild on us. No, just draw some cards. Yeah, okay, you can draw a card. Cut down that life, down to 12. The distance is closing. There's a land, 1 card in hand. There's a Shadow Spear in the deck. That would also be awesome. The lifelink at this point. And the trample. Come in our way. We'll give it flying. Block a shark. Alright, so the magic number is now 33. That's still a ways. That's still a bit of mana, but we have the Ironworks, so we can get some extra mana that way. Compass is going to flip over. Do we need to do anything at the end step here? I don't think so. Hope for no removal. I guess we have the Blacksmith skill, so that gets us around a lot of stuff. Mana Vault, hang on to that. We'll take the damage. We're down to 13. This will put us to 12. There's the Walking Ballista. Here we go. All right, make sure we do everything the right way. Tap that for mana. Tap that for mana. Let's use the Ironworks. Sacrifice the Wellspring. Use the ability. I don't think there's any lands left, but yep, all out of lands. KCI on the Mana Vault. Did we KCI the Zabaz right here? Yeah, probably. Probably. Sacrifice the Zabaz, Modular, and the Ozolith. There are 23 counters on the Ozolith. And then we just dump all of our mana into this thing. Not currently lethal, actually. X is currently 7. That puts us to 30. That means we're 3 short. We would need to sacrifice 3 additional artifacts. Well then, we can sacrifice 2 additional... Well, no, we can sacrifice the KCI to itself. So that's X7. That's 30. Then... Yeah, opponents have 33 life. So hold on to that. Ironworks some more stuff. KCI to itself. And now Walking Ballista. X is 11. Yep, 11 is enough. Walking Ballista. Don't get countered. Or shot. Go to combat. Put 23 counters on our Walking Ballista. It has 34 counters. Say GG. Opponent doing the math, realizing that, yep, they be dead. Start shooting, Sean. Let these resolve. Opponent's down to 3, 2, and 1. Down goes Sean. Opponent saying GG. I can't believe we won this game. Things were so bad in the middle. We were so far behind. Oh, they had to draw 4? Yeah. Where was our card draw? Not soon. Goblin Welder's cool. All right, taking a look at this deck. So the big story here is more card advantage. Now, what I will say is I have tinkered a little bit with some of these artifact decks somewhat recently, and the one problem that comes up is card balance. You have to balance your artifacts with your non-artifacts, and sometimes that becomes kind of a pain. So instead of trying to like make all the cuts right now, because it'll be really difficult to do, I'm gonna make a list of all the cards that I want to add. So one thing we'll do, we'll bring the Truth and Justice back. So that was over here, and then we'll put the Duretti into the want to add pile. Showdown of the Scalds. Gonna be perfect for this deck. Exile the top 4 and may play him until your next turn. Whenever you cast a spell this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's everything you want right there. I think a Wheel of Misfortune. Card draw right there. Here's some other things you can think about. Because of all the graveyardy stuff you can do, Hedron Archive becomes a legit card, as does Memory Jar. So like these 4 cards will give you much better card advantage. Some of the other things I talked about too were maybe trying to get some treasure creation into the game. Forging the Tyrite Sword could be all right. Makes a couple treasures, gives you something to sacrifice if you need it. And then find some of those equipments that are going to be really helpful. We saw the Captain Lannery Storm in the game. I'm not saying that's exactly the card that you need, but just things that make treasures can be really helpful. What else? I think that was kind of the big thing. If we had more card draw, we'd probably get to our removal just a little bit better, because things were looking grim for a moment. Walking Ballista showing up at just the right time. But I do have to say, this deck was a ton of fun to play. I really liked the interactions that were going on in this deck. They were super, super cool. Really, really enjoyed it. I might think about adding the full suite of, like, Mirror Retriever cards. I don't know all of them. I know there's at least 2 of those. I forget the name of the other one. But all of the when it dies, return an artifact type cards, I think could be helpful for what's going on here. Definitely something worth checking out. But overall, yeah, the deck was a ton of fun to play. Some really cool interactions. A lot of cards you don't get to use that much, particularly the modular ones. And some really interesting interactions with the Ozolith, which I thought was really, really cool. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below.